All right, hola guys, ¿qué pasó? How's everyone doing? This is Hala Pablo. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go ahead and do another update for Bitcoin, real quick one. So we've had some action with Bitcoin, but it's been action that has been totally forecastable. As if you've been following my videos and tracking these two charts as we've been tracking, this is a subcycle B top from 2021, and over here on the right we have our current cycle where we sit right now above this micro trend support line right here, between the micro trend support line and the trading range resistance from the all-time high that we drew. And so you see these two junctures are coming to an apex. Similarly to what happened in 2021, we see the same thing now. I went ahead and erased the bars up to where we sit right now, where you can see that the similarities between the charts. I'm going to go ahead and play the bars in a minute so you can see how everything played out in 2021. But real quick, let's just go over the features of the chart real quick. We have this 3 drive on both, and then culminating in the all-time high, which marked down through the macro trend support of this ascending channel, or this rising wedge or ending diagonal, or however you want to call it, broke through, and then this support that was the channel support flipped and became the macro trend resistance. And since it flipped, from the time it flipped, it wasn't able to prevail through it. We see like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts back in 2021. It wasn't able to prevail through it back into the channel, came down, and it established a macro support line here that we see, which of its own created, as it were, its own channel. Now just a step down underneath where the previous support has now become resistance. We look at the volume spread analysis, and we see that the last major attempt at the macro trend resistance resulted in an explosion in supply. Same thing that we got this year back on the 19th, or I'm sorry, the 20th of January, when we had when we mitigated the all-time high, which we saw here that it mitigated. Actually did it twice, and actually we had a triple mitigation in 2021, and then the third one went up even higher, so it created another all-time high. We haven't seen that yet, but it was promptly rejected both times, and it resulted in substantial supply coming in the vertical bar volume, which took us back into the channel, back to bounce off this support line here. And in both cases, we had more overthrow this year. Let's see if I can get a brush. This is throw over here, so we don't really count this, kind of like we had some of it here as well in 2021. The main thing is that the support line, or rather the trading range resistance line drawn off the 5 in this ending diagonal. This is what kicked it all off, where we had the macro retracement from, and we were never able to get back in. From there, I drew the buying climax on both of these charts, and so that's the litmus test. It's got to be able to get over this resistance line and establish support. It needs to flip it. Okay. Now we're not even going to talk about the macro trend resistance. We're just talking about trading range resistance now. This is throw over, so this doesn't count, and it wasn't able to establish support because it went back down into the, I guess we can call this like an ascending triangle, I guess. And the same thing happened here. It wasn't able to, it came up, we had some throw over, but in this case in 2021, it touched the macro trend resistance line. It was promptly rejected and came back down. So now we currently sit here, same area. We've come back up. Both are conspicuously looking like rising wedges. This could be drawn as a rising wedge. We know rising wedges are bearish, right? They're bearish patterns. So something like this. Let's see if I can change this so it stands out more so you could see. We'll do white. See here? Yeah, that is a bearish pattern. And I'm not I'm not particularly liking the volume either, the demand volume that's coming in at this area. I mean, if market makers were intending to take this resistance and flip it, and then go ahead also and prevail through this macro trend resistance line, you'd think you would see more demand volume at this key juncture. But it's just it just keeps producing failures to rally, like down here back in 2021. They just weren't really, I mean, they had already gone a lot higher back then proportionately than we've gone this year, with much more force going through, although we've had more attempts here and more rejections. In 2021, they were able to put up a third all-time high. But then once after that third rejection, and it came back down and bounced off the support, we really didn't see that much demand anymore. I mean, that was it. It kind of gave up after that. We're still blowing and going for the most part, but we're blowing and going and forming a rising wedge, like we saw here. So I think we're going to make another attempt at this trading range resistance. And I mean, if we don't see more volume, if we don't see more demand volume, I think it's just inevitable, especially if we're following the trajectories as it seems, as we have been, almost wave for wave. So on here, we see you can kind of see the similarities of where we are now. And 2021 at this point here, and you could see almost a rising wedge that it's formed in 2021 as well. Before we play the bars, it's kind of like what I'm talking about here. The similarities are unmistakable. I mean, look at this. You can't tell me that the waves haven't been almost playing out in replicate fashion here after this third macro rejection off the trend resistance. So what did we do from here in 2021? Well, we're going to see. Yeah, we broke through. We broke through both. We broke through the macro trend support and the trading range support. And so this was effectively what we call an LPSY, or a redistribution from this rising wedge. And we had what proved to be the commencement of the macro retracement, which went all the way down. Okay, now I'm not saying we're going to go all the way down this year. In fact, I do think that we're going to retrace, and it's going to be a time where market makers and formed interests are going to lock in profit, especially on the heels of the FOMC announcements yesterday. Favorable crypto, bullish. I think market makers are selling that. They've already got shorts up here lined up to take out any bullish longs, and they're only going to go so high in the pre-designated shorts, and sell orders are going to kick in. It's going to shoot them down like it did here. It just makes sense. And but I don't think it's going to be a macro retracement all the way to, spelling out doom. I still have high hopes for altcoin season, the resumption of altcoin season. But I do think that before that happens, Bitcoin must lose dominance. And the way it's going to lose dominance is we're going to have a sell-off at some point, and this rising wedge is going to break. Whether we prevail through trading range resistance or we make it all the way up to the macro trend resistance remains to be seen. Anything is possible. We can even create an all-time high like they did here, a third one. But I think the inevitability of a sell-off, of a markdown to at least to the 618 Fibonacci retracement, I think is on the books and is unavoidable. And that is before they can pump it. See, the market makers, their prerogative is not to make you rich. And they know that people are holding, people have bought on the heels of the good news yesterday. And just the Trump presidency, everything's looking brighter, more optimistic, more favorable. And so they bank off that. They actually use these events and these emotional dynamics to catalyze the news and to catalyze the pressure of the markets. And what they're going to do is use it to their advantage. So if they know everyone's going long because that's the sentiment, then they're going to do the opposite to separate you from your liquidity and use you as exit liquidity. So that's how that works. I've explained this before in other videos. It's market psychology. You're battling essentially the market. The entity on the other side called the quote-unquote composite operator, or the informed interest, or the market maker. These are the deep pocket investors who aren't interested in pumping Bitcoin to $1 million. That's not how they make their money. In fact, that'll be detrimental to them, because that'll make you rich and me rich, and they're not going to get rich off that. So they get rich and they get wealthy by transferring your money into their accounts and using the news and current events to catalyze just that. And so they know that everyone is super bullish right now on Bitcoin because they haven't studied the charts and the patterns. And but we have, and if you follow this channel, we'll keep you safe. Just as 2021 turned out to be this double top distribution, I think that we're cooking up a distribution of our own. This is subcycle B. Subcycle A was also a distribution, but it did not distribute as far as subcycle B. So as you see here, we came down and accumulated, and then we marked back up after this deep spring. We had a reaccumulation here, and then we put up another all-time high. And I think that's kind of what we're doing, just the tops are reversed. I think that this one would be like subcycle A, which we just saw, and we're going to mark down at least to the preliminary supply liquidity void, which is down here around 88, between 88 and 84 grand. So Bitcoin tastes the 80s. I'm buying. I'm putting in limit buys. So that's what I'm doing. Not financial advice. If you get anything out of these videos, like, subscribe, follow. That way you won't miss any more updates. I'm fixing on doing Trump and Melania, however you say her name, coins, doing them in tandem together, because I think they warrant in themselves technical analysis. I think they're going to be important. And I know they're meme coins, love them or hate them. I think that there's a lot of liquidity going into them. They have a huge market cap, especially Trump. And I think it's going to be a major contender later this year and in the years to come. I don't think it's going anywhere. And so it's worth tracking. And I myself probably get into Melania soon. Well, no pun intended. That didn't sound right. Getting into these coins, Trump and Melania, soon. I'll let my group know when I'm looking at buying. I'm going to do some technical analysis. I'll upload some of the charts here and kind of give you guys a taste of what I'm doing. And if you want more details or more charts, then you're welcome to check out our trading group, private trading group through Patreon and Discord. And by the way, if you get, I'll never reach out to you. I'll never solicit anything. So if you get something from the group saying friend me, or if there's like a DM with my picture on it with Hala Pablo, it's not me. I will never contact you. I'll never solicit you. So please just disregard. Don't click on it. They're scammers. I don't know why they do this, but it's pretty pathetic. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Be safe in the markets. And remember, none of what I say is financial advice, but you already knew that, right? Adios. Take care. God bless. Bye.